what did I say? It was VPJ hard feature, right? Hard. News feature hard VPJ.
Man, seems like there ought to be like 10 or something. This is like so much.
There's 14. Well, I will tell you that when we went to and looked at the cutoffs for this, so they scored them 1 to 5 stars. And so what's weird is like when you average the 3 judges together, sometimes you have like 8 that are the same score, which then you can't break those up any further down. You know what I mean? So you might, let's say you have 2 5s, 2 4s, and then you have 10 that are 3.67. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
So we're like, how do you make that shorter? It was impossible.
You tell them only 5 people can win.
Well, I guess, but
no, I'm making it sound really simple. I don't want to do your job.
Yeah, I get it. And this is free. I mean, I'm going to learn from this for sure. So
maybe there is a way to put it in the sausage factory. I don't, you know, like if there was a numbering system that could help eliminate. I don't know how that would work, but
well, that's what they're doing. They're scoring them based on a
right. But then you're saying it's not really accomplishing it much because there's still 14 entries, you know, at 10 minutes or 5 minutes each. It's like, or how long are these things? They're going to be like 15 minutes.
The longest one is 8:44.
Right.
And there's a few 650s, 640s, but a lot of 4.5, 5 minutes. So
it's just easy for us to miss something, but we're going to do our best.
If you guys want to do what we did with the reporter, where you like after 5, you want to stop and pick a couple of the top ones there that just for your refresher, we could do that too. You know what I mean?
I'm sure we're not in any condition to be finishing today, right?
Well, we're plugging along, but I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see where we get. There's a chance.
It'd be nice to, like, in the future, just sort of prejudge these before we show up, just to have an idea what we're going to be dealing with.
It's possible, but we already see. That's the thing is we're already. Yeah, that's an idea for sure. So the other option is the editing judges might finish early, and we might pawn a category off on them. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Especially maybe like investigative, where that may not play too much into the POI stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, let's the first one is going to be in this one, the game. So we can get that one ready. We have to share screen, I guess, and all that. Let's see here. Video feature.
I hope it works out for these photogs.
Will you take these so I don't need the whole bag? Thank you.
These young photogs out there, they're working so hard.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so well, let's read the description here so you guys have it. Again, this is formerly the in-depth category, a planned hard news feature where the photojournalist puts considerable time and effort into the production of the story. Should be more serious in nature, and there's a 90% rule, 10 minutes or less. So again, planned feature, it's hard news, that sort of thing. Okay. Jessica, are you ready?
What time are we looking at? Anybody know? Anybody keeping an eye? 4:03? Okay.
As a city sleeps, a
We've
block
seen this.
awakens.
Moving and moving
Yes.
and moving.
Rick,
So if you've seen it, you want to keep rolling on it. It was probably in a compilate, like a reporter reel or something.
Yep, it's on
Scroll.
Vanderveen's reel.
You want to roll through it?
Yeah, just scroll through it. I can't remember it. We're going to get hammered for scrolling through stuff.
It's on Chris Vanderveen's reel.
Oh, yeah. This was really, really good.
I do.
This is definitely in depth. I like this story a lot.
the city's efforts appear to have
come through and they just borrow.
I don't need a babysitter. Here.
These people are so nice.
More miserable. Systematically pushing us into different areas, and then plans, and they decide to push us in a different direction.
There just has to be a better solution.
All right, so you remember that one? That's good. I mean, if we get a few more like these, even better, right? The next one will be "Long Live His Legacy."
Maybe I can't let you in. Busy. Sorry.
I'm
Nancy.
ready.
Ready? Oops, that wasn't easy.
Black lives matter. All lives matter. You matter. I matter. But black lives matter.
2016, it was kind of hard to believe exactly what happened on July the 6th.
See, when I say black lives matter, it is not to disintegrate any other race because skin tone is just a shade.
Because I lost a piece of my heart.
Started around 9 o'clock last night with that traffic stop on Larpenter Avenue in Falcon Heights.
That's where an officer opened fire on Philando Castile as he sat in the passenger seat of a car driven by his girlfriend with a child in the back.
Actually, I talked to Philando the day before he was murdered, the same way that pretty much Alden Sterling was murdered by the hands of people who were supposed to protect us.
Living different lives, and we all have lives, and we all matter. But black lives matter, you see.
You know, I lost my friend right here on this road here, man. So, Philando's also somebody who motivates me right now to this day, man. A lot of the stuff I'm doing right now to this day is because of Philando.
It was devastating to everyone that knew Philando because it was that thing, how could it happen to him?
Black and brown people, for some reason, have been treated differently. We can take it back to the 16th century when we were being shipped overseas, see.
He was just an all-around good guy.
There was this man who spoke to me in my dream. He told me to follow the dream. Go create a scheme that'll prevent another dead teen, and that's why Black Lives Matter, I mean.
Actually, I go and I sit there by myself when people are not there because I know Philando's in that space and he'll come to that space.
Would it matter to you if people you easily compared to keep dying around you, and you similar thinking you can die too? Tell me you won't try to take a stand. I'm not racist, I'll shake a hand and make a friend. I understand that we both are women and men, but Black Lives Matter again.
The fact remains, I have work to do. This type of behavior and what happened to my son should never have happened, and I don't want to see it happen to anybody else's child because it's devastating.
What hurts is like the George Floyds and the Dante Wrights and you know, and the Winston Smiths. Those hurt because we could have prevented those guys, man. You know, if we take a look at what happened to Philando and said, okay, we're gonna put things in place so that this doesn't happen anymore. And if this does happen, we're gonna hold people accountable, put the fear of some in some of these officers, we could still save another life, and we refuse to do that.
Why? They just killed another brother again. It put me in complete attack mode, ready to attack those ones who pretend we don't matter, when our lives do matter. But see, I would rather live together in peace than fall apart from hate. Though it is a shame there are many that would hate every word in this poem, I wonder why it took this long to realize Black Lives Matter.
Until they visualize our children the way they visualize their own, it's gonna keep on happening.
Until the color of your skin is no longer significant.
I look at today and I see blinded youth, more lives than truth. All lives are truly worthy to be appreciated, but I don't feel appreciated. So I gotta make a change. Well, I say again, with a raised fist and a picket sign that's easily recognized, with a bunch of people behind me, all agreeing to the fact that our lives are Black and we matter.
If you ask me what I think he say right now to us, just keep on fighting for me. Keep on fighting for me and people that look just like me, and people that dress like me. Keep on fighting for us.
I always recognize the community, and I'm so grateful that they be loving on Phil and still remembering him, and that's something that I do. I want to make sure that there are some remnants of my son throughout the state of Minnesota. I want him to leave his footprints of his existence on this planet.
It's a lovely day because there's a lot of people out here eating, listening to music, kids playing games, running around.
It's always good to see the community come together, and I will do this every year until my death.
You matter, I matter, all lives matter. But what is more urgent is that Black lives matter. Rest in peace, Philando Castile.
This is going to be a hard category to judge.
Hey, I'm looking for my comments on that previous one, the game, and I can't remember what category it was in.
That was reporter,
Okay.
right?
Was it?
I think it was reporter because it was Chris Vanderveen's work.
Was
And
it?
he was versus Boyd on this. Yeah, it was reporter as part of his montage.
Exactly, that's who it is.
So, shoot, I can't find it. darn it.
So Bob, if we want people to hear to know our comments, are you saying the spreadsheet isn't where the spreadsheet is private and they'll hear our comments on here if they want to?
Yeah, I mean, I've never, you guys asked the question yesterday and I assumed that these wouldn't go out because we don't really have a mechanism to send them out to the winners or the finalists or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want those.
Well, I'll just reach out later. That's fine. I can find the person.
So, I mean, I'm happy to send them out. I know what it's like too. And Adrienne agreed when she said yesterday, like, I like getting feedback from the judges, but we didn't really set it up this year to do that. And again, in the past, what we've done was we've written up a paragraph on the category in general on what we liked and why the winners won, which I think is important. And so maybe that kind of stuff can get published. What you guys thought, but I can look through the winners and see what you guys thought about that. But I guess,
need
yeah.
sorry. Full transparency. I know everybody that was in that last piece and I know who shot it. So I probably should recuse myself from voting on that entry.
Okay.
Did you shoot this, Adrienne?
I did not enter this year because I was judging, and the person who shot that piece reached out to me and said, "Don't forget, today is the deadline." So
It's a beautiful piece. I think the only thing that if this is like the in-depth category kind of, I don't know if it was looking into that topic in depth or like, in depth, like, I don't know. I don't know if research.
The name in depth is no longer in the category. It's just formerly that was what it was called.
Just so they have a place for pieces that they don't turn in a day and are longer than 2 minutes.
But they have to be they have to have a harder edge to it. There's a great soft feature version of this, but we wanted to separate the two so that we had a hard because every time we had an in-depth category, it was always difficult to it was always featurey anyway. So and then we got investigative, which separated the in-depth, the investigative out of the in-depth. So I think we've done a pretty good job of streamlining some of these categories now, so that there's a little less.
We'll have to see what the soft one looks like.
Yeah,
well, you bring up a good point. That's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway,
I was so sucked into it, I wasn't thinking about anything about what I was supposed to judge. It was such a good piece.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece. I love this piece, but the only thing is between that last one and this one, the last one kind of has a more in-depthy feel in terms of research over time, kind of not, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's more research in it. Whereas this is non-qualitative research, or not quantitative research, it's more of a qualitative story where you're talking about racism and, the different events that happen over time and this man's death and how, it could have, they're pondering his death in the place of all the George Floyd stuff.
So here's the I'll read it again. A planned hard news feature where the photojournalist puts considerable time and effort into the production of the story.
Oh, okay.
Stories,
then I'll take
stories in this category should be more serious in nature. So.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a solid 5. Then I'll change it. Thank you.
Yep. Just make sure you read your group text message that I sent to you on your phone. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the next one is Saving Enchanted Forest. Here we go.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah.
before you roll this, just remind me later. I want to ask you something about that text.
Okay. No problem.
Oops, I'm sorry. What is this?
Humpty Dumpty sits on a sign.
Yeah.
Just off I-5 south of Salem, Oregon. His smile beckoning passersby into the enchanted forest, home to fairy tales and nursery rhymes.
Yeah, it kind of typifies the Willamette Valley, I think. As natural as you can get for an amusement park.
While inside, the park's creator, 91-year-old Roger Tofty, is busy outrunning near impossible odds.
Oh, boy.
Patching problems and working hard to keep his dream alive.
Been at it more than 50 years? Just doing my thing.
Geared up, like a superhero ready to take on the latest villain to stalk this storybook land.
Yeah, we're still trying to recover. Kind of depressing.
This is where a lot of damage was done.
The February ice storm was punishing, bringing down hundreds of trees.
Those branches coming straight down like a spear, and it just cuts through it like butter. Yeah, the whole top of that tree fell down.
Roger's daughter, Susan,
and it all fell this way.
Co-manages the business side of things.
Those trees fell straight down this path and just smashed through the kiddie train. The kiddie train is no longer right now.
Up to $1 million in damage, splintering plans for its COVID-limited season opening.
There's something that hasn't been repaired yet.
But then, Rogers had tougher foes.
Yeah. Yeah. How's Idiot Hill doing? Or how's the Funny Farm doing?
When this father of four bought 20 acres in 1964, thick with trees and bushes on a steep hill off the highway, to many, his dream seemed, well, like a fairy tale.
Did anybody ever say, he was crazy?
Oh, definitely. Definitely they said he was crazy.
He'd thought about being an illustrator for Saturday Evening Post. Instead, turned his drawings into sculptures. With a vision, a lot of the cars whizzing by would stop for a roadside amusement park.
When I first started, it was all brush through here, so I just crawled on my hands and knees and kind of imagined where the trail would go.
Roger cleared the brush, then handcrafted, sculpted, and painted each feature.
Yeah, the first thing I made was a pumpkin.
Humpty Dumpty on his wall.
He fell down.
Roger had to repair him a few years ago when some park visitors sat on it.
Yeah.
The crooked man in his crooked house.
The old woman in the shoe. Good memories.
Daughter Mary, who manages the park with Susan, wasn't even in school yet, but she remembers.
When we were kids, she used to be in our backyard before this was even open.
And then after 3 years, I got thinking, man, I wonder if I should keep going. But then I thought, well, I've gone this far, I might as well just keep plugging away.
And he did, for 7 years. The park opened in August of 1971.
Yeah, it's a constant deal just to keep everything up.
50 years later,
Boy.
His work's still not done.
I'm the mayor, the sheriff, and the commissioner.
But even the
Yeah.
marshal of Toftyville, on his trusty steed, couldn't stop the year that brought COVID.
Yeah, there is no year like this.
The pandemic shut the park down, and with only a 6-month season,
We knew financially we were in big trouble.
That's the biggest problem with running a park like this is all the things that could happen.
and in this kingdom, where Roger's iconic witch was the most wicked thing around, something even worse was on the horizon.
In the midst of the whole pandemic, all of a sudden this happens.
There's fire on both sides of the road.
In September, wind-whipped flames roared out of the mountains and down the canyon.
We were in our park trying to get things out that were really important. We saved, important hard drives, Dad's artwork, Dad's plans, things like that.
While the fire didn't end up touching the park, it did scorch its soul.
6 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call from Dad saying that Wyatt and Peggy have died in the fires. And I just couldn't believe it.
So we've had a tough year.
Roger's great-grandson Wyatt and his dog Duke died trying to save his grandmother as they tried to escape the fire in Gates in Masaniam Canyon.
Peggy and Wyatt were the sweetest, most wonderful people you would ever want to meet. And just losing them is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, they're redoing quite a bit of the castle.
But just as in fairy tales, when evil forces are conquered by good, there's magic in the enchanted forest.
We started the GoFundMe, and the next morning, it was amazing.
Within days, the community rallied around the park and family. 2 separate GoFundMes raised nearly $800,000.
It is truly a magical feeling.
It's kind of unbelievable all the support we have.
And the cobblestone street of the park's English village is paved with that love.
They really get to express themselves in these bricks.
Hundreds of park goers bought bricks.
Yeah, great memories, laughter, fun.
To help keep the park afloat.
It's just like they're all so personal. I just think they're beautiful.
The people stop me and thank me for doing it, so it's just kind of rewarding.
And Roger wasn't about to let them down.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. He always says,
Quitter never wins, and a winner never quits.
And that's exactly the philosophy of our family.
But there was one more obstacle. The family received threats when they announced proof of vaccination would be required for park entrance. So they waited for COVID restrictions to ease.
Yeah, there for a while we didn't think they were going to open back up.
Before welcoming eagerly awaiting guests.
Yeah, we're excited.
Oh, we were, terrified that, they wouldn't make it.
We see people lined up
Then,
Let's see, they'll open it pretty soon.
8 months after the enchanted forest closed,
We can open the gate, I think.
Yes, so exciting.
the big day arrives.
Yeah.
And a new chapter in this storybook begins.
You gonna have a lot of fun? Yeah. Oh, good, good.
Eleni Marshman and her daughter Joanna
Thank you very much for the support.
are excited to share the enchantment
There's one.
with granddaughter Stella
Stella, do you see your name anywhere?
and show her their brick
I think it's right here.
that helps save the park.
There it is. That's so cool. Our names are here forever.
And so are the names of Wyatt Tofty
Oh, right here,
and his grandmother
Yeah.
Peggy,
right here.
who died in the wildfires.
It means a lot to us, something that'll be here for a long time.
And just above their memorial,
Really appreciate all that they've done.
a plaque thanking
Yeah.
the community for supporting the family and helping the park reopen for its 50th year.
Brings out the best in people.
You ready? More and more families will get to come and enjoy it, and that it won't, this dream that Mr. Tofty had, it won't die.
Humpty Dumpty, right here.
Like Humpty Dumpty,
Jumpy.
this park had a great fall.
Yeah, that's a long haul.
Yeah.
But Roger,
Yeah.
his family,
Yeah.
and those who loved them did what all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't. They put it together again.
This is so cool.
Came together pretty good.
So the dream Roger Tofty built may continue to enchant
Yeah.
for generations to come.
That's real special. Yeah.
I feel like I heard about this story with the grandmother saved by the grandson stayed behind, and the granddad went down the road, and they wouldn't let him back because the fire was out of control at the house. So, wow, this is a different angle to that.
The next one will be, it's just called News Feature Hard Photography.
There's two called that. And they have the same like numbers, but different video links.
Well, that's weird. They're the same ID number.
That's what it looks like. Maybe if I click on it.
Yeah, see if oh, I see. Look at the same entry.
Is one a picture, or is it just...
No, it's like they both have pictures with it. I guess like the
Oh,
same
okay.
person submitted it or something.
Look in the master list here. Yeah. Okay. There's two different. So is there a name on it at all? Like when you get into it, did they put? No, they didn't. That's really
No, they
strange.
made it the same.
Why that photographer wouldn't have named it. Okay, let's play the one with the ID has the X2K on the last
They-
three.
They both have the same ID.
The same number.
It's the same. It shouldn't be. Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Well, that's even stranger. Okay. Well, that's the key. The ID. Do you have the ID on there?
You have different durations.
Let's just delineate. Let's just call this one number one, and we'll note. I guess what it is. To make sure we go to the other one. So just pick one, and we'll name it ourselves or something.
Okay, we can just do this one first.
The first one is 3 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm just writing something down to help identify if we have to go
Yeah,
back to
that's fine.
something.
Yeah.
So the TRT seems like the only thing that's different.
Exactly. Why do these columns keep getting screwed up? I don't get it. It's like driving me crazy.
Oh
Mine
wait,
are working great until you mess with them.
here's the name. It was on like the actual video. Sorry.
Okay.
This first one
what's
is
it?
They Broke the Ground for Us.
Okay. They broke the ground for us.
Yes.
Okay, I put that in there.
Thank you.
All right, you guys ready? Go ahead.
In one of those buildings we pass by, but don't necessarily see, history is ever so quietly simmering. A new day for the old building at 45th and Hiawatha.
This is an amazing opportunity.
And for the African-American firefighters
Long time coming.
following in others' footsteps.
The old staircase, that's all original.
More than a century has passed since the building they are seeing for the first time was built to be Minneapolis's first and ultimately only all-black fire station.
It was opened in 1907.
Joseph Waters is the firefighting historian who's been doing the research on the men who served here.
Oscar Clark, Archie Spence, and James Cannon
Just 3 found in the records so far.
served this station their entire career.
But Joseph says potentially dozens of African Americans worked and lived in this space over the 34 years Station 24 was open.
They broke the ground for us.
Charles Rucker joined the Minneapolis Fire Department 21 years ago,
This is what would be called the engine.
where he's risen to the rank of fire motor operator.
If the system was in place how it was back in the day, I would have been the one in control of the horses. This area is the day area.
On a tour of Charles' fire station,
This is where we eat our lunch, dinner.
reminders of another time
This is my room here.
when white firefighters refused to sleep in the same beds occupied by black firefighters during the shifts before them.
That's why there was a segregated black fire station.
And when that station closed in 1941, things got worse.
Basically, since this station closed, there weren't African Americans on the Minneapolis Fire Department for almost a 30-year period.
Retired Judge LeJune Lang should know.
Yeah.
She worked as a young volunteer paralegal in the early 70s on the federal lawsuit that forced the Minneapolis Fire Department to open its hiring process to minorities.
That hole up there represents where the first fire pole was.
Now she's organized this tour and taken the lead on gaining historical status for the old fire station to protect it from demolition as the neighborhood redevelops around it.
These are the original boot lockers
John Bean,
that the firemen would use.
who currently owns the building he leases to others,
Captain's room.
is supportive of the effort to preserve it, as is
This is the basement.
the Minneapolis African American Professional Firefighters Association,
Yep.
of which Charles Rucker is president.
This is very emotional because they paved the way for us to be on the job and have these nice careers that we're having so we can raise our families and serve the community.
Backers envision a museum where children can visit,
We just seen y'all and we wanted to say, hey.
like these kids from a neighborhood summer program who just happened to walk by during the firefighters' tour.
You can also become a paramedic.
Another rung on the ladder helping the next generation up.
I am actually Assistant Chief of Administration. Yeah.
Progress
Honor God.
still being built brick by brick
1, 2, 3.
on a strong foundation.
Thank you for coming.
Boyd Hupert, KARE 11 News, Minneapolis.
Do y'all just want to do the other?
No, I
video
wanna
with
write
the
my-
ID?
I need to write my comments.
We'll do that one in order. The next one is Great Galveston Freeze. If you want to look at that other one quick and tell me what the name of that store was, I'll type that in the box.
This one's called Brad's Rink.
Okay. Oh, we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen this one.
Was that one They Broke Ground for Us?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what's the next one called, Bob? They just
The Great Galveston Freeze. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, roll it.
Oh, pretty.
Steam was coming up maybe 300 yards out into the surf. Never have I seen that. Solid ice on the roads. Beautiful. Very beautiful.
Seeing the snow on the sand, something I'd never seen.
But I mean, this is shocking. We woke up at like 3 in the morning and it's incredible.
It's crazy. Nobody was ready for this.
This house is about 101 years old. Our pipes are busted. This is day 3 of having no electricity and no water here in Galveston. It's very, very cold. They're not doing too good. They're up next to the heater just like I am.
We have no way to cook, no way to heat the house or nothing. And every place that opened, like McDonald's, there's a half-mile line to get in.
Number 2 and what to drink? Coke, please.
So many people at that McDonald's getting burgers first time ever. Even in summertime, it doesn't get that crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get some McChickens probably.
And when I get it, I'm gonna...
Yeah, the pizza place even further down was backed up.
Okay, $19.99. Thank you. All right, thank you.
My biggest fear right now is more for my neighbors. Unfortunately, he's about 86 years old and lives by himself in kind of a shed, if you will. So actually, I don't know where James is right now.
Hi, James.
Oh. I don't need much. That's why I'm going to give me a bag of candy out the house. That's all. Nothing but a bag of candy.
And I'm just really appreciative to know that there's, other good Houstonians and Galvestonians that care about helping their neighbors during this time.
All righty.
The power went out. It's been really cold. Huddling, blankets, dogs. Layers of clothing. Never been through anything like this before.
Just not real sure what the night's gonna hold.
Power outage.
Very surreal.
Total darkness.
Just a very unusual thing, not having any lights and very little sound and very little movement.
Once you lose power and water, those things are hard to come by because the supply is limited on the island.
Let's go.
I'm gonna probably cook some food that'll be able to last us for a few days.
There you go. You have a good one.
We just need prayer. And I'm praying for everybody in Texas, really.
We're a good little community here, and we tend to help each other out in bad times. That's one of the things we love about Galveston.
We're getting the water in Galveston. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Just hang in there, and Galvestonians, Texans, we will get through this.
People end up here for a million different reasons.
Thank you very much.
70 to 80 people who come in just for a hot meal. We've also learned that the Galveston will show up if we ask them to, and so that's been really amazing to see.
Normalcy is returning at a slow pace.
Oh, I'm starting to warm up. It just feels great.
Once the water is fixed at the house with the broken pipes, then normalcy will get back.
The road home is next.
We've seen this one before, but roll it.
The road home.
Yeah, we've seen this.
Y'all want to watch the whole thing or just
Refresh my memory. How long is it?
it's like 3 minutes, I think. Let's see. 4 minutes.
I don't remember that bug. I like that. Just been looking down.
You guys, if you want to stop it, just let them know and she'll stop it or scroll through so you remember.
Jason Hernandez knew his path to freedom would ultimately lead him back home.
He was the last person I saw free.
Back to a childhood friend named Damian Guerrero.
I would walk from my...
You remember what we saw it in?
Probably in Reporter. Because that's the only way it would duplicate if it was in the Reporter category.
Go ahead and play it. I couldn't find my comments from the first one, which the game. So I'd like to see this a little longer.
Just play it through.
Yep.
House to his house all the time.
But they lost touch more than 2 decades ago.
Extremely different path. The most extreme that you can imagine.
Jason was selling drugs on the east side at 15, in prison for life by 21.
I was poisoning my community. I have to live with that for the rest of my life.
Life plus 320 years for a first-time nonviolent drug offender.
Hey, Jason. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Trish, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Jason made a promise to his brother the day the president shortened his sentence.
Make up for all the wrong that I did.
Come home.
I'm so proud of you. He's a good kid.
And build back,
Jason,
what he broke.
I've seen you in these streets selling drugs. I've seen you now that the person that you became. You have totally changed. You have changed people's lives.
Since then, Jason started a nonprofit, worked in criminal justice reform, righted the wrongs with just about everyone.
Jason lived down the street. I lived around the corner over there.
2 friends who were separated
That's where it all happened, Damian.
by a moment 2 decades ago.
Oh, it's changed dramatically.
It was an early morning in March of 1998 when Jason's house was
You
raided.
just hear a bang, boom.
Damian was there too.
Your car was parked right there on the side.
I knew a guy lived there. Uncle and aunt live over there.
He never left the east side, now patrols it with McKinney Police. Lieutenant Damian Guerrero.
That's all it takes, one wrong turn. And they changed your life forever.
That morning in 1998, he never left his friend's side because he's the man who arrested him.
Quiet ride. Quiet ride, no talking. I don't think there was a word said between us on the ride to the jail. Felt bad, right? Felt ashamed and couldn't look at you.
For years, Jason couldn't face many people here on the east side.
I still feel like I'm incarcerated.
This is where the path to freedom
I never knew there was a street down there.
takes a turn.
I want to get my felony conviction off me. So I have all my rights restored. I want to vote. I'm going to ask President Biden to grant me a full presidential pardon.
A true presidential pardon would wipe his record.
Yes.
But it needs signatures.
Absolutely.
I absolutely sign this.
I would never have
hesitation concerning you.
How you doing?
It needs an old friend who proudly agreed.
Jason spent nearly 20 years in prison and truly came out a different person. I knew right away that he had good intentions and wanted to make up for his past mistakes. I'm proud to call Jason my friend.
Somebody believed in me, right? Somebody gave me a second chance. It just so happens it was the man that drove me to jail.
There is one last signature, one he'll never get.
You basically lost your life so I could get mine back.
His brother JJ died in prison.
And that's a shame. Yeah, still there.
Jason left his prison ID here as a reminder of that promise.
2015. I put it here to bury it, to bury my past. I'm gonna leave it there.
And then something happened we cannot explain.
For that win.
A sign.
That's my bro talking to me right there. Breath, air, being released. Finally, feeling released.
A pardon from the president may never happen.
The signatures weren't for him. They were for me.
You're a good boy, yes.
And again, I'm so sorry.
And for that,
wow,
Jason had to come home.
Free. I just feel freedom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's up, man. We did it, bro.
In McKinney.
We did it. Hell yeah.
I'm Jordan Paniker.
Okay, so y'all remember that one now. Holly's push is next, I think, right?
Ready?
Brad, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Adrian, good? All right, Polly's push next. Go ahead, roll it. 3, 2, 1.
A daily routine, a revered ritual.
The reason I want to tell a story is for the family members.
Paulie Venito is getting in shape, training for the unknown.
I had to do something that nobody's ever done.
This 62-year-old isn't running. Paulie is preparing to push this cart from Boston's Logan Airport to Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan.
It's been 20 years, and I'm praying to God that I get the message across. Not only is this country gonna know, the world's gonna know about these crew members, the whole world.
The crew members, Paulie's friends from his days as a flight attendant for United Airlines, friends who were working Flight 175 on September 11th.
I ran into the house, and I see the second plane hit. I remember calling the airport, and it was just chaos.
Paulie had recently been assigned to another route and was not on Flight 175 that morning. Shortly after, he began trying to escape the pain and loneliness with drugs.
When I got caught up in the opiates, I didn't know it was numbing me out from the effects of 9/11. I wasn't feeling what I should have been feeling. I didn't know that. I was just functioning.
Addicted to opioids for more than a decade.
I knew that this day had to come. I knew it. I knew it had to come.
Paulie says he finally got sober to honor his friends.
All these years, I couldn't recognize these guys until I took care of myself. I knew that had to come. Once the public realizes it, these family members will be able to put their head down at night knowing that their family member was a hero. They weren't just murdered by terrorists. They were a hero. They were absolute heroes.
Paulie came up with a plan to push an airline service cart to Lower Manhattan with the help of the substance abuse nonprofit Power Forward. And for months, twice a day, he's been training for the 200-mile journey.
Paulie, how you feeling? I feel great. I'm ready to do about 210 miles, no problem.
But from blistering heat to unforgiving terrain, there are plenty of problems. Still, Paulie pushes through from suburban Boston parks to Boston's most beloved park.
To me, it's not that big of a deal. I pushed beverage carts my whole life up there at 30,000 feet. The only difference here is that I don't have turbulence. I just get traffic. Potholes and all that stuff. It ain't gonna stop me.
When you're walking, Paulie, I noticed that you're looking down a lot. At first I thought you're looking down at the street, at the road, but you're not. You're looking at your beverage cart.
The pictures of the crew members, I look at their faces and it just gives me inspiration. I just keep pushing. You know, when it gets too hot, when it gets too cold, and my legs are hurting, I look at them and the pain goes away.
No question, Paulie marches to his own tune. But along the twists and turns of this journey, he always makes time to reflect and remember.
You know, these people had families. That's what I think of anytime I'm here. I think about their families.
Along his path, Paulie has found endless support.
Good luck. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I know you could do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Spend a day with Paulie in the Boston area.
Can I shake your hand?
Sure.
Just say thank you.
It is clear his mission is gaining traction.
You're welcome.
I don't mind a hug either.
Come on.
Here in Quincy, Massachusetts,
Here he comes.
everyone knows about Paulie's push.
Let's go, Paulie. Keep it up, buddy. Keep going. You got this.
How you guys doing?
You got this.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Awesome. Good to see you.
Paulie, good to see you. How are you?
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. New York hasn't forgotten. I'm carrying this into New York to show you these guys haven't forgotten either. Bostonians haven't forgotten.
20 days. That's how long Paulie expects it'll take him to reach the 9/11 memorial.
It's the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And I'm clean, and I'm gonna be sober 6 years when I get to New York. Tell me that's not a perfect storm. It's time. Whatever I gotta do to get that beverage cart there, I'll do. I'll flag people down, I'll throw it on the back of a fire truck, I'll do whatever I gotta do to get that thing to New York. But I'll push it there. I guarantee you, I'll push that thing there.
In Quincy, Massachusetts, Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
Okay, the next one is Brad's Rink, which we have seen before. And we can watch again if you need to. Just let me know what you want to do with this.
I don't want to cry twice, but
If you want to scrub through it, or you
I'm
wanna-
okay. This is where the dad dies and the mom takes over and people come and play at night.
they build the rink and then spread the ashes.
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
it's a fantastic story.
Excellent. Yeah.
you know what category this was in?
This was reporter.
It was another Boyd piece.
Yeah, it's a Boyd.
Oh, thank
in
you.
his- in his reporting.
Oh, that's right. I know exactly why. Yep.
Yeah.
Of all people, I do recall this very well.
Okay. Yeah, I know. This is a hard one to watch. All right. All right. So are you guys want to watch it, or you guys want to skim through it just to kind of remind you, or what do you want to do?
I need a reminder.
You
Okay.
can watch it.
You want to watch the whole thing, or you want to?
It's
Sure.
not that long. It's not that long, is it?
All right. Go ahead.
3-4 minutes?
How long is it?
Valentine's and
Sorry.
roses can say affection. But in Foley, Minnesota, a backyard hockey rink
Get it, Ma!
says love.
I've tied 7 pair of skates today.
The rink where Beth Harrison,
My hands are gonna fall off.
daughter Isla, and son Beckon can be found
I'm all good.
at a time in their lives
I'm sorry.
they have never felt more lost.
I feel a lot of responsibility for my family.
He's always been the best dad ever. It's always been for his kids.
Beth's husband, Brad, the kind of dad who'd design a luge course for his children, host their outdoor movie nights,
Absolutely.
and talk his reluctant wife into a backyard rink.
I was completely against it. I didn't want the upkeep. I didn't want to deal with it. So I said, fine, but I'm hands off.
Brad, on the other hand, was all in.
This was his accomplishment. It was a way for him to spend tons of time with the kids.
The high school hockey player turned hockey coach to his kids, built both a rink and the life of which he dreamed, till everything came apart.
He was diagnosed January 21st of 2020. Of small cell carcinoma of the prostate.
Beth had wrongly thought she'd prepaid her family's cancer dues after her own battle with stage 3 breast cancer 3 years earlier, a battle her husband couldn't win. Beth and Brad spent all of last summer at a lakeside campsite making memories with their children before sharing with them what fall would bring.
We just held them and tried to answer their questions. But it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Also hard for Beth's husband, who recorded for his wife and kids this video.
I hope that, they can be okay with me being gone. And that, I just worry a lot. It's going to be hard.
Brad's hockey friends asked if there was anything they could do.
You want to do something, you don't know what to do.
The only thing that I couldn't do myself was this rink.
All Beth needed to say
We're a tight-knit group, us hockey families.
for this tight-knit group to show up November 1st, study Brad's hand-drawn blueprints, and assemble his rink. 12 days before he died, barely able to get to his bedroom window, Brad looked out and saw love.
So this time of year was one of Dad's favorites, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, a season later,
And he loved to skate with you guys.
his wife and kids are bringing Brad back to his place.
Can I have a hug? You okay? It was a way to keep Brad with the kids for a little bit longer.
Brad's rink, now lovingly tended by the half of his marriage that once hadn't wanted it.
He would be very proud that I did it. And he would know that I did it for the kids. Just like he would have.
3 months since Brad's death.
No!
Beth, her kids, and an assortment of friends spend every free minute on the ice, confident if they are here,
Tonight was so fun. It was.
then Brad is here too.
You're part of the family.
He was the best dad. He really was.
Boyd Hubert, Carol 11 News,
Okay, you want to help me?
Foley.
What an average story, Oh, that's so good.
Too bad he sucks, right?
Yeah.
Today is going to be biblical. Is the next one.
Perfect. It's Sunday.
5, 6. We have 6 more left. Today is going to be biblical.
We didn't stop after the first 5, but that's okay.
Oh, Do you want to stop now or no?
Okay.
You
Unless
guys want
somebody
to
else
discuss the first half of these? And pick a couple of your favorites, or you want to keep moving?
I need a minute to think here. I'm an editor. I'm trying to put this thing together.
Sharon, are you knitting?
I'm sorry?
Are you knitting?
No, I should be. I'm getting
Oh.
nervous enough to knit. No, I'm actually kind of making a list.
Let's see. So again, the question is, do you want to discuss the first several of these or keep going?
Just keep going.
You guys choose.
It works for me, whatever anybody wants to do.
I'm good to keep going.
Okay. Well, Adrian, anybody? You're good?
We can keep going.
Okay. The next one is what was it? Today is going to be biblical.
It's a good name.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Roll it. Oh, we lost audio.
On that Tuesday morning in Dallas's Dealey Plaza, this is a sample of what we heard. And
I know a lot of why I'm here was ordained by the Lord.
What we saw.
I should think that the police would come and block off the street or something too, you know?
Who's your president?
I'm here to support God-fearing patriots in the movement.
A movement that on that morning.
We need music or something.
What are you expecting?
What am I expecting?
Well, we'll let them tell you.
There was an event that was said to possibly happen here today.
Word on the street is that JFK Jr., will show up and introduce his parents.
12:29, the same time of day that JFK Sr. was shot here in the spot.
Probably the majority of us know that JFK Jr. is alive.
You're expecting JFK Jr.?
Absolutely.
Okay, how's that going to happen?
He never died.
Are we going to see him today?
JFK Jr.?
Yeah, that's what everyone's telling me.
We're hoping. You hope and pray.
And then after that?
He'll probably be the vice president with Trump. I hope I'm right. You know, I believe I'm right. And I believe today is going to be biblical.
Well, it wasn't biblical. JFK Jr., who died in a plane crash in 1999, did not show up.
Biblical.
That's fascinating.
Fascinating to a professor who studies this stuff.
But Donald Trump always holds his cards to the last minute.
This is really common in apocalyptic religions, that the end never quite happens, but it's always around the corner.
We are Q.
Dr. Michael Phillips is an author and a professor of American history at Collin College.
1229, what would be the mirror of 1229?
And in this peaceful gathering where JFK Jr. did not make an appearance, he sees more than just political theater. He sees potential trouble.
It's a merger of far right-wing politics with apocalyptic religious beliefs.
Strong religious component.
Dr. Kimmy King is an attorney and professor of political science at UNT Denton.
Some people will call it cult. Some people will call it a family. What matters is that there's a belief structure there that you share in common. It's when that belief structure gets challenged that it becomes problematic.
The Southern Poverty Law Center considers QAnon A sprawling spiderweb of right-wing internet conspiracy theories with anti-Semitic and anti-LGBTQ elements that falsely claim the world is run by a secret cabal of pedophiles who worship Satan and are plotting against President Trump. In 2019, the FBI warned of conspiracy theory-driven domestic extremists as a growing threat, with QAnon on that FBI list. And QAnon converts were a visible part of the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, and among the hundreds arrested so far.
I think the ability of the internet to mobilize people who believe in a violent apocalypse, that's disturbing.
You start connecting dots and you're like, are you kidding me right now?
The distance between QAnon and a mainstream political party is not as distant as I would hope.
Oh wow, it's coming in pretty clear.
On that Tuesday morning,
Well, that means something.
where conspiracy theories were the order of the day,
Elvis is still alive.
The Elvis.
The Elvis is still alive.
You
And
work
this is
with-
where I lose you.
Are you pulling my leg? You
Nope.
believe all this stuff? You really do?
Listen, first of all, I believe in God. I'm not some wacko person. I believe in this 100%.
there was one real truth several of these people agreed to talk about.
You gotta understand that most of the world is gonna think that's just crazy.
That's why half my family won't talk to me anymore.
They won't.
And my girlfriend thinks I've lost my mind.
That is actually a very common phenomena too.
Entire online communities like this one on Reddit are dedicated to that. Families that conspiracy theories like these have torn apart.
We've lost families, we've lost marriages have been destroyed, people have lost jobs, their livelihoods, because of something they believe in.
And these are people who feel powerless and alone.
There is this need to feel like you belong and that on some level you are right.
The Q community itself gives them a new sense of family.
Michael, how are you?
Family led that morning
Beyond excellent, by the way.
by a man who calls himself
Very nice.
48 was here, which I don't know where he's at.
Negative 48.
And what does that mean?
48's evil. EVIL. E is 5, V is 22, I is 9, L is 12. 48. Negative evil. Negative 48.
Belief in a secret language of numbers,
Well, there's a gathering here today.
part of this mindset too.
Donald Trump always holds his cards to the last minute. The last minute.
Okay. Are we at the last minute yet?
No. It's the middle of the day.
Which reminded Dr. Phillips of this ad in a Dallas newspaper that morning in 1963 that listed grievances against JFK and his photos as mugshots.
He hadn't gotten to Dallas yet. He was looking at the Dallas newspaper with that ad. He said, we're going into nut country. When a city gets a reputation like that, it becomes a magnet.
It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Do you have my card?
A magnet whose center that morning was Dealey Plaza.
You can save this footage and review it later and you'll be going, wow, she was right about everything.
I don't know what's wrong with those people. That's what they're gonna say.
And you know what I say to them? What's wrong with you?
What a great place to meet someone like-minded.
Like-mindedness you can pass off as unusual,
Well, you realize you're dealing with famous people here, so they usually run late.
or like the experts.
I'm here to see and listen and obey
Watch with a very real measure of concern.
and spread love.
Truth is boring. Fiction is way more interesting sometimes.
In Dallas,
God bless America!
Why would anybody make all this up?
I'm Kevin Reese.
Sweet home.
There's a knock on my door. I think Michael Jackson is here, by the way. Just
Listen, guys, I'm going to start something called Kurdianon.
Kurdianon.
Yes. We are fast food gurus. We know exactly what gas station has the best chicken salad sandwich.
Isn't gonna make you sick. The Tenacious
Oh,
Unicorn
man.
Ranch is next. Okay.
Let's just say I'm lucky I have a fast metabolism.
Yeah. It's like how Bilal, you're still detoxing, right, from news. So you're like, wow, I can actually heat my lunch up now, right?
I got believe it or not, I haven't really been enjoying like good lunches lately. They've been slamming me during lunches. But I do have some days that I get to enjoy lunches, yeah, a lot more than news. I was always of the belief that if you were a good enough photographer and good enough team, they always had time for lunch.
That's the most important thing, making sure the photog is fed.
That's right.
I teach my students
At least
that.
for
I'm like,
me.
whatever you do, just make sure the photographer gets fed somehow.
Mhm. We're not grazing animals.
E.G.
We're hunters.
And Jessica, you guys hear that? Happy photog means happy team. You don't want your photojournalists
That's right.
be grumpy.
A well-fed photographer is a happy photographer.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
Give your reporter a coffee and they're happy.
The Tenacious Unicorn Ranch.
Tenacious Unicorn Ranch. See, this intrigues me. The name of the title is intriguing. It's a good title. Okay.
Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty.
Colorful mornings are constant in a place where beauty isn't always the whole picture.
Literally the most amazing thing every morning.
The view humbles Penny Logue.
Amazing every morning.
While her job wakes her up with it, no matter the weather. Penny keeps going.
Pretty adorable. Okay, you ready? Go for it.
Because of her mission to live life as a transgender woman out loud.
I don't know what I expected, but this wasn't it. Like this came up out of need.
She named this place the Tenacious Unicorn Ranch.
Hi, little baby, yes.
A name that says what she and Bonnie Nelson are doing is brave. And unicorns are just awesome.
Yeah, tell me all about it.
So are their 180 alpaca.
Because look at that face. Like, we just love the freaking thing.
Together, Penny and Bonnie offer a safe haven to people who identify as transgender.
I spent a really significant part of my life running away from that. I came out in my 30s and began transitioning. So that suppression lasted a good long time.
We help people get a better foot in life and have a chance to escape the cis world.
Let's go there.
And just exist happily amongst all the wonderful animals here.
As a one-shot hashtag, we're queer, and that's, and we coexist.
They paint a new picture of ranchers in a county where the sheriff says some individuals like to think they're part of a militia.
Small, rural, kind of old school Colorado mountain town that you can still exists.
In Custer County, Colorado, nearly 70% of the population voted for Donald Trump twice. The people here take the Second Amendment seriously.
Just yours, or is the lawn coming?
No, lawn's not yet.
Even the coffee shop owner, who has that hipster look.
Everyone has beards, right? It's so cool to have a beard.
He's usually packing.
You've got gun-toting, open carry people, which I'd probably fall into that category. I'm not wearing my firearm today, but I don't wear it in the shop too often.
It's complicated, is the best way to say it.
When the publisher of the local paper felt threatened after reporting on the pandemic, he wanted protection in his office.
This was the first time I went out and bought a self-defense weapon this last summer. And it wasn't because of the left or rioting in Denver, it was from the more extreme elements here in Custer County.
Okay, mamas, watch out. This is about as crazy as alpaca get, really.
The unicorns might stand out in some ways.
Good girls.
But there's one way.
Oh, yeah.
Those things?
They don't.
Yeah, I mean, I carry an FN 57.
The Ruger 57. As soon as I saw there was 5 stripes in between, I was like, I have to put a trans flag on that. That's just where it needs to be.
There's nothing about gun culture we love. It's more the functionality and the necessity of owning firearms is an everyday reality for us.
What are they doing inside our gate?
They've learned that living here might mean not everyone wishes them well.
Hello.
A deputy came by to look into an anonymous tip the unicorns were abusing their animals.
Like, we get harassed pretty regularly.
The complaint was unfounded.
It's mostly online, but
yeah, I mean,
sometimes it comes into the real world.
Even the sheriff said he wouldn't be surprised if the call came from someone trying to make the unicorns' lives more difficult.
So I'm just gonna, like I said, document everything that you guys told me, everything that I saw. I don't see any concerns.
They'll close out the case tonight, let us know in the morning that it's closed, and then life goes on. You know, one day at a time. But still got those mountains.
And when the mountains fade from view, they have each other.
We survive together. We face police visits together.
The unicorns could choose to live an insulated life.
It's been talked about a lot in the trans community of just going out into someplace rural and start a farm and just kind of disappear. We, of course, decided not to disappear.
Penny and Bonnie choose not to hide.
Thank you so much.
Because even in Custer County, they found a new community.
Oh, we have met people that just, it would blow your mind how kind and just, I'm tearing up, like just amazing people, that's all.
They are tied together by the reason they all came to live here in the first place.
On the worst days, you look out at this mountain range, and first of all, you're like, okay, like, that's a trillion years of, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm meaningless.
We all have our different backgrounds, our different beliefs, but you know, in this town, for the most part, it's
Have a good one. You too.
It's a good place to be.
You're gonna land in a different place than I do. Can we still be friends and understand each other? We can.
What are you doing, sweetheart? Hi.
The unicorns know people will never be perfect. But a picture like this comes pretty close.
You good? Hi, Mama.
Sorry. Thank you, Brad. I needed that.
Okay, next one is the photo.
Hang on, I'm not ready.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, I didn't give it my number. Hang on. That's all right. I know it doesn't need a number. Okay, I'm ready. What's the next one called? I'm sorry.
The photo.
The photo.
The photo. All right, here we go.
Photo comes alive.
3, 2, 1.
It was here.
It's a pretty sad day. That's why everybody needs to remember it.
Everything changed.
Look at this. It's
There I am in the background doing live shots.
very overwhelming.
20 years ago.
Sad. Very sad.
The names of those we lost.
It's all the names.
Etched into our memories.
Let's see if we can find her name.
Stories like Chris Amoroso's.
What happened here is, it's a tragedy.
I love the flowers.
He left behind a baby girl.
When'd you get married?
November 26, 1999.
And a wife, Jamie.
We got married not too far from here.
He was a Port Authority police officer.
How proud was he when he got the job?
He loved it.
Assigned to work at the World Trade Center.
What do you remember about the morning of September 11th?
It was a beautiful day. I remember he left and he said, I'm working at the World Trade Center. And I said, okay, just be careful. And he's like, he goes, what's gonna happen?
The horrors of that day may never go away.
I knew when the second tower fell, I had like a feeling that it wasn't gonna be good. I just knew.
But in her husband's final moments, she was able to see just how fearless he truly was. A single photo.
It was given to me.
Of the moment he saved a woman's life before he ran back into the burning towers.
It was good and bad. We have the proof. He was a hero. He saved this woman.
What does that say about your husband?
I'm not shocked. But he was just a good guy. He was a hero.
But for 2 decades, Jamie waited to hear from her, then began questioning if the woman ever made it out alive.
As time went on, I started to think maybe he didn't save her or get her far enough, because we had never found her or had anybody had ever spoken to her.
Oh, God.
It was Todd Mazel who snapped that haunting picture while on assignment for the Daily News. He keeps it boxed up in storage, out of sight.
Yeah, here it is.
But never out of mind.
What is it about this photo that stays with you?
The selflessness.
He spends most of his time now in rural Massachusetts.
Come on.
Life today is much quieter.
This is a 9/11 camera.
But he'll never forget what he saw firsthand.
I know every detail. I remember it all like it was yesterday.
Through the lens of his camera.
That was one of the first police officers that I saw. She was in distress, and Chris was determined to help her. It was like the photo brought him back to life. For that moment, they were able to see Chris as the hero that he was. I took 2 frames, and then I lost them.
He's always wondered, whatever happened to her?
We never found her. We don't know who she is to this day. We never found out.
Until now.
I remember his face because he was my angel.
We turned to social media, searching for a name, an identity, any clue. And after reading countless tributes, we found a post online from a man who says the mystery woman is his mother, Suman Damisha.
He said, just ma'am, relax. We are here to help.
She spoke with us from her home in India.
I wish the best for his family, for his loved ones.
She confirms that's her in Officer Amoroso's arms. She was working in the second tower.
If he wasn't there, there is no way I could have made.
And is ready to open up about that harrowing moment.
Never got to say thank you to him. I really owe my life to them.
Each 9/11, her family says they light candles to celebrate what they call her second birth.
When I came down, I fell. If I wasn't going to come up, there was no way I could be saved. There was no way I could be alive today. What I felt bad was because I have lived my life and he was still so young.
She was given a chance to keep living. She's now a grandma.
He's always on my mind because he was the one who brought me out of that mess.
She did have a message that she wanted to share with you.
We shared our conversation with Jamie.
Tell her that he had such a wonderful husband. And I'm alive just because of him.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Wait a second. I can't believe she's alive. I can't believe she has the same face.
She finally got to hear from the woman.
She's the last person with him.
She was so desperate to find.
There's reasons. He went in with a purpose and was to save as many people as possible. The fact that I get to hear somebody say it.
And after 20 years,
Hi, Suman, how are you?
the two connected.
I cannot believe I am looking at you. I cannot believe this. You look exactly the same. If I walked past you on the street, I would have known who you are because I've looked at that picture so many times. Yes, you look exactly the same.
A long overdue meeting.
I'm glad he did his job that day. This way you could be with your family.
Full of comfort
He was a brave soul, very brave soul.
Yeah.
and closure.
I have a personal question.
Sure.
Did he seem scared?
You know, he wasn't scared, but I was scared.
Healing.
Life goes on. Life goes on.
A story
I want my daughter to meet you.
Me too. I would love to meet her.
no longer untold.
Chapter's closed, I guess. Looking forward to starting new things.
Yes, it's time.
It's time. It is.
A new memory.
Amazing. This is amazing. My mind is blown.
Born out of tragedy.
I will be in touch.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
See you soon. Oh my God. She's amazing.
I'm Adam Harding, News 4, New York.
The next one will be In the Name of a Soldier. Now, when you guys are ready, the next one, yeah, In the Name of a Soldier. Let me know when you're all ready.
Ready?
Good.
I am.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh, no sound.
Looks, there's your projector. There's your projector.
Ichi is enjoying that.
I wish it was a phone.
It was a phone. Maybe it's projected from the phone. No, it plays it.
We lost it again.
Oh, we got to find the audio first.
I sort of like that skateboard idea that just sort of dribbled out of my brain. I wasn't even.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it too. That's a great idea.
Who's going to do it first?
You know, you can use your phone as a projector.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted that for Christmas, but
Oh yeah.
yeah.
There are some toys. There are
You
some
just go
toys.
out into a projector.
It's been almost 20 years now.
Oh,
Well, that's so
Oh, you
weird.
had a lot of coffee. I always like how these stories start.
Understand what's going on here.
wait, Warrior K9 MD. I have In the Name of a Soldier. What are we watching? Is this In the Name of a Soldier? Because the name on it's different.
Yes, it's In the Name of a Soldier, but I think.
Okay, just making sure.
So
Thank
can
you.
y'all like not hear it when it's on full screen?
Yeah, it's sort of strange.
Maybe I can try reloading the page. Hold on.
You're doing great, Jessica. Thank you.
Bobo's your
Yeah,
beard.
you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome.
Whether you're old enough or not, Bobo's your beard.
Thank you. I'm gonna try putting it on full screen again, but just stop me if you can't hear it.
You know we're not shy. It's just the first shot. Now we don't hear the rest.
I don't understand what's going on. It's so strange.
That hiss we usually have is kind of what a projector sounds like.
I can go ask someone to come help, or I could like zoom in on the screen a lot.
I think this could still work, even if it's
play
not
it just
full.
like this. I think
Yeah, just play it and see what
Okay.
happens.
we'll do
Army
our
Specialist Brent McKay.
I got blown up by an IED.
The memories of that bloody battle are still fresh.
When I came back, I had a lot of issues.
Even in times of peace, McKay is still at war, crippled by rages,
It could be daunting.
flashbacks,
It can be debilitating.
nightmares.
If I didn't have my family and friends to help steer me and get me to where I needed to be, I could honestly say that I might have been homeless.
This is when it gets a little difficult.
3,000 miles away,
They called him a gentle giant.
Virginia Tallman struggles with a casualty of her own.
And the news said there was a helicopter crash in northern Iraq.
Her son Matthew Tallman was an Army pilot serving in the Middle East.
I sent a quick email off to Matthew saying, I saw that there was a helicopter crash. Can you tell me that you're okay? And there was no response.
She will forever remember the day
So they got there in the afternoon.
the Army came knocking on her door.
It was a very bad day.
War had taken her only son.
And has basically been a very bad day every year since.
Virginia
He
Tallman
played football.
and Brent McKay
It all started when I got out.
may have forever remained strangers had it not been for a prescription. One that didn't come in a bottle.
So this is where a lot of the training goes on. Good girl.
This one
Yes.
came in a lab. On a farm in Boyds, Maryland, a litter of Labrador retrievers had become the newest members of the Warrior Canine Connection.
Oh, they mean the world, obviously.
They will spend their younger years training to become service dogs.
It's anywhere between a year and a half to 2 years.
Go get it.
For men and women who served and still struggle with war.
Ultimately, they're going to do everything they can to make as many people happy and change their lives for the better.
If I drop my leash,
The dogs are not only trained to assist with physical needs,
boy, there you go.
but also emotional ones.
Kiss. There you go. Talking to my doctor, he suggested a service animal, chick. Good boy. He gave me a couple companies' names.
He'd waited 6 years for this day.
When you think, oh, I'm on a waiting list, it's, oh, I'm never going to get it. It's never going to happen.
But it did happen.
Down. It really lightens the load on your stress level, and he just wants to eat sticks. I'm able to function properly even when I'm at work.
The dogs are all named after other service members who have sacrificed for their country.
Come on, get the leash.
Brent McKaig's new companion is named Tallman.
Come on.
A salute to Virginia Tallman's son Matthew,
Good boy.
who was killed more than 15 years ago.
You don't want your child to be forgotten. You want them to be saying their names. As long as this dog is alive, Matthew's alive.
She was determined to meet the dog
I'm excited and nervous. Oh, look who's here.
that bears her son's name.
Hey.
Brent.
Hey, Brent. Nice to meet you.
This is Tallman.
Hey. Hey. I waited a long time to meet you.
Until now, the two had never met.
Would you like to give him a treat?
Oh.
He likes treats. He likes
Yeah, but-
pepperoni. He likes
Okay, you have to sit,
Cheerios.
though.
But suddenly,
Is that a salute?
there was a connection
Good boy.
thanks to a dog named Tallman.
He's been a lifesaver to not only
Wow.
myself but my family.
That is the purpose of this whole thing.
All I gotta say is thank you. I mean, I know it's hard losing a child, but I honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better companion.
Well, I'm just glad to see him. He's happy.
Just a good boy.
Directors of this program are often asked who it is helping the most.
All the way up. There you go.
Oh, that's a salute.
It's hard to tell.
I'm gonna give you a hug because I am a hugger.
Thank you so much.
Almost like seeing that he is around still.
Jeff Abel,
Her son definitely lives on.
Fox 45 News.
Boy.
Jermaine, next one. Two more left. Scratch this one off the list.
I think we've seen this one. Do y'all just want to watch it through?
It's the guy who plays the saxophone.
I believe so.
Can we just scroll through just real quick, just for a quick refresh? I'm sorry. I know I've seen this, but I just...
Oh yeah.
Therapy, and it
I'm not paying attention yet, so just so you know.
Oh, sorry.
You can go back to the beginning, and then when she's ready, you can scroll through.
So this is one we think we have?
We've seen this one. It's the guy who played a saxophone.
Oh. Trying to remember why he plays saxophone. I remember it visually.
Oh, there's mental illness, I think.
Oh, I think you're right. Okay, I'm watching. Allow, are you ready?
Okay, do you
I
want
remember
me-
it. I'm sorry. I don't need it. I don't need it to watch it, but you guys can watch it. So.
Which one?
I remember it.
Jermaine?
Do you want to watch it? Or?
Which one?
Roll through it again, and then you can see if you want to watch it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember it, but I don't remember it. Oh, mental health, that's right.
We watched it like 3 weeks ago. I mean, yesterday.
Do you remember the category?
I believe this was a reporter.
Was it called the same thing?
No, because it was a reporter entry, so it's probably not named.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, if you want to watch it again, you're certainly welcome to.
It's very good. I don't need to see it.
You remember?
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot about it, but give me a second.
It was from, I wish I could tell you what reporter entry it was.
Can we just watch the first minute of it at least?
Oh,
Yeah,
correct.
just to kind of warm it up.
Oh, of course.
There you go. Yeah, watch the first minute of it.
Watch it
Yeah,
until we
just let me know
figure
when
it
you want
out.
to stop.
In America's Music City, it isn't hard to find a musician. When just about anywhere can be turned into a stage. But in a town with this many musicians, it is a big deal
I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this song.
when you can get people to stop
I think he's amazing.
and listen.
I heard him all the way over there and we walked all the way around and listened to him.
Accompanied by just an iPad and a small speaker, Jermaine Pitt spends a lot of his evenings here delighting crowds.
Thank you.
But he'll be the first to admit that's not why he does it.
I'm going to be selfish and say it's more therapy for me than it is for anybody else.
Like a lot of Americans, Jermaine's life sounded sweet until a minor court of COVID-19 caused major mental health problems.
Extremely happy, full of energy, to just literally not wanting to live anymore because I couldn't interact with other people. I started performing poorly at work, started drinking more. I mean, we're in Nashville. That's just what happens. And it literally got to the point where I didn't want to wake up anymore. When I went to sleep at night, I prayed that I wouldn't wake up. And so I woke up one day and I went to my doctor and she said, you have to go get help because you might not be here very much longer.
What do you think we ought to mess around with this evening?
So, a few months back, he started attending regular therapy sessions with Claudine Jefferson.
I think we need to mess around with scatterbrain today because I'm really scatterbrained.
That's when Jermaine realized some of these issues may have just surfaced
Did y'all want to keep going?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Thank you for doing that. For my old feeble mind.
It'd be better if
think
it was a
they-
trumpet. If it was a trumpet player, it would have been better, but you know.
I think just like my comments are similar, so are yours. I think you said that the last time.
Okay, not to get off topic, but why a trumpet player?
Oh, because I play the trumpet, and it's in trumpet players have big egos, and so.
I played the alto saxophone.
Yeah, well, I married an alto saxophone player, so. But good for you. That's awesome.
But,
I'm a campfire guitar player.
I love it. And we got a little
I played
band
the
going.
accordion.
Wow. Brad, you're
My
a drummer.
falsetto.
you do come on, Brad. Are you a percussion? You play the drums?
Yeah, I wish. No, I played piano as a kid, and it's interesting because I think it really taught me the whole thing of music and moods and hands doing it, and I think it was the beginning of my learning how to edit.
That's interesting. Could you still play?
No,
No, not at all. No, that was a hard, fast. No, I can't.
I told my mom in 6th grade I didn't want to play anymore.
You and my son.
She told me I would regret it when I'm an adult, so I guess I'm still a kid.
That's good. I'm a karaoke circuit singer.
Musicians
Is
are.
that why you're on YouTube? I haven't Googled it yet, but I'll find you.
Yeah, that's not why I'm on YouTube, but okay.
Okay, one more.
I truly believe musicians make great editors because they understand cadence and tempo and pacing,
Yeah.
And tapping to an edit,
So to round the conversation out, Brad, John Kurt is a phenomenal musician, also a trumpet player.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
never knew that.
Yeah, he went to college with a friend of mine.
I do remember him editing, though, and I would watch him. He would sit in the edit booth, and he would just close his eyes, and he would do this, and boom, he'd hit the button.
Johnny Kurt.
When it was the right time.
So, Adrian, do you still play the
You gotta
alto
hear
sax?
it.
I play more piano than sax, but I didn't get that job as minister of music. My dad would only let me play for the choir and the Sunday.
Yeah, no fair. Your dad's a pastor.
Yeah,
That's great.
I'm going back on
Where
mute.
did you go? Where did you go to high school?
Bridgeport. Oh, I was in a band, the marching band there.
Yeah, in Bridgeport, Michigan.
Yeah, it's like 15 miles outside of Saginaw.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. My wife just retired as a band and orchestra teacher. After 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
All right, we have one more to go here. Let's do it. Angle Ice Road.
Gave me time to floss. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to oblige.
"40 miles off in the distance, they may as well be on the moon."
Right.
Karen and Paul Colson. Cut off from their own country.
Totally.
Yeah.
God, he looks like boy.
The Colsons live on the northwest angle, that little bump at the top of Minnesota, only reached by driving through 40 miles of Canada. All good till last March, when Canada and COVID closed the border.
Very depressing. There was nobody.
Nobody able to reach the Colsons Resort, one of a dozen that provide jobs for the 100 or so people who live on the angle. Livelihood severed for 10 months.
We had 0 people at our place.
Yeah.
0.
The angle needed something bold. Then someone floated this.
I thought it was kind of crazy.
Cale Alsleben is one of the plow drivers now keeping open a 22-mile ice road across frozen Lake of the Woods. a lifeline.
You got to figure some way to get customers up here.
And it's working. 2 weeks since the opening, the Northwest Angle Ice Road has returned life to the northernmost tip of the lower 48.
Drive your 25 mile an hour and take your time, and away you go.
A highway on 20 inches of ice, complete with bridges over ridges.
Oh yeah, my wife was very skeptical about me coming out here. And when you do see the plow trucks going, it makes you feel a little more comfortable.
Ice fishers and property owners.
It's worth this $500 pass.
$500 for the season, or $145 per round trip, to cover costs of constant maintenance.
We have a cabin up here, and it's the only way we can get here right now.
The ice will only prop them up till spring.
We don't have anything else.
But the Colsons
right?
will take it.
Everybody will be able to hang on a little bit longer.
A moonshot on a moonscape.
Sink or swim. So we just keep swimming.
Boyd, Carol 11 News, Lake of the Woods.
Tell me that guy doesn't look like Boyd. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
I
He
thought of that
looks
too.
just like him.
I was thinking the same thing. So weird.
I saw that piece on air, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that is really good, cool.
Who is Boyd?
We finished the category.
Boyd is a reporter out of Care 11. Did you say who is Boyd?
Yeah, I was being a
She's
jerk.
joking. Okay.
She only worked with him for 11 years.
Oh, sorry, I fell for it. That's what I thought.
He's just a guy.
You know, Adrian, I should tell you this, that there's that little video he made of the handshake shot, and you're in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and that's why on some of my notes, you'll see I cringe when I see the back of people's heads when they're introducing someone.
Right. I show that to my students every semester, and sometimes multiple times, you know, saying get B-roll of the people you interview and get their faces so we can see who they are. It's amazing. But yeah, you're in that. It's so funny. I'm like, and then I always stop and I go, oh, see that woman right there? She's an MSU alum right there. She's a J school grad. So anyway, all right, you guys want to maybe put your favorites in like we did last time and see where it comes out?
Yeah.
And remember,
How many? Four choices, right?
As always.
Doesn't have to be in the. It doesn't have to be in the order that you want them. Just put them in.
What I'm trying to remember here. Oh yeah. This is so hard. What was the game about again?
The game is the Chris Vanderveen one, isn't it? Is that the
Oh
homeless-
yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Meth woman.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't watch it a second time.
Yeah, no, I remember it. Yep.
I don't even want to look at what time it is.
Jeez, this is hard. I think I have my 4. All right.
Was the They Broke Ground for Us? Was that the Chris Vanderveen story?
No, the game.
They broke ground for us was the fire station. The Boyd story about the fire station, right?
Yeah, shoot.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What's the? Let's see.
I better see the game again because I see it on your lists, and I couldn't remember it other than I knew the homeless lady, but I'm going to need to look at that again if it's contending because I can't remember it.
Do you want to watch the whole thing or just scroll through it?
Let's just start it, and I
Okay,
won't
you
put
can just stop
anybody
me.
through any misery unless you guys aren't going to put it in. But if you're going to put it in, I guess I want to look at it. I remember it was great. It was in depth over a course of time, right? Like 3 months.
Yeah, you liked it. It was the homeless piece with the lady who was walking.
Right.
Are you able to read the descriptions, maybe, of the ones that we know we finalized? Because I think people put a lot of effort into writing and giving us a little backstory. My four are down there.
What was Long Live His Legacy again?
The Philando Castile piece.
I'm sorry, the what?
The funeral piece of the George Floyd, not the
Philando.
story about George Floyd
Yeah.
from another person, from Philip. What's his name?
Yes. No, that
Phil.
was- yeah.
Phil. I don't remember his name.
Philando Castile.
Philando. Yep. Philando. Yep.
Do you want to hear the descriptions?
Brad, you deleted your comments. What happened?
Because I had too many, and the game is not in it, and I should see the game because I remember I liked it, and you guys are choosing it, so I guess I'd like to see it again, see where to put it.
All right, go ahead and play it then for a minute, and if you want to stop, Brad. But you know,
Yeah.
just-
What time are we looking at? Anybody know? Anybody keeping an eye?
Oh, yeah.
4:03. Okay.
As a city sleeps, the block awakens.
Moving and moving and moving.
Rick
This gets real old.
must move again.
A lot of us don't want to be here.
Fences go up.
Hey, back up. We're fencing this off.
Security pushes in.
My life.
A scene so common, news crews seldom bother to show anymore. Why bother when it's already the 71st sweep of the year?
So you're going to 7th or 8th Mariposa still? Okay, I'm heading that way.
All right, there we go. Yeah, this is hard. This is very hard.
At the age of 44,
I'm trying to stand up straight a lot. It's very painful.
Carrie Gladue cannot help but wonder what 4 years on Denver streets have done not just to her neck,
But it's gradually getting worse, and it's pretty bad.
but to her soul as well.
Some people see this poor little old lady. Some people see the dogs and think, oh, how sad. Those poor little dogs, because people care about dogs more than they do people, and that's fine. I do.
Gladue was born and raised in Denver,
All my stuff has obviously been gone through.
and yet in Denver today she feels like an outsider.
We get about 3 weeks out of every place most of the time. And then they make sure we leave. And then we leave for a week and then we go back. I mean, it's a constant battle.
2 weeks prior, the city inspected this camp near 6th and Cuivas. Inspectors found 19 tents, one of which was Carrie's. Records we found tell us why the city removed it: urine-filled bottles and a large amount of broken glass.
Because I don't know where I'm going to go yet. I think I'm going back to where they sweat because that's how we play the game.
The game, one played inside an ever-expanding arena, according to our investigation. Once confined to a small area just east of downtown in early 2020, the city's efforts appear to have spread the encampments out from its core into neighborhoods previously unaccustomed to tents and efforts to remove them.
We got to do what we can to help them, but we cannot allow encampments to exist. It's just not healthy.
Denver's mayor remains unapologetic about a policy his office continues to champion.
The alternative of leaving them there as opposed to cleaning them up and trying to connect them to service is just untenable. It's unacceptable.
In 2020, the city removed one encampment a week.
There's all this noise over here.
A generator.
This year we found it's more like 2 to 3 a week. And we found many residents.
They sweep, we go back. They sweep, we go back.
Residents simply moving back.
So we're just gonna keep sweeping from place to place to place and spending all this money on what? On something we're just gonna run back to and dirty up again. Okay.
Case in point, 6th and Quivas. 5 times this year, the city has moved
All right,
in
I've seen it now.
and moved people like Damian Miles.
So Polly's push, that was the one where the guy was pushing the airplane cart, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So can
You
somebody
ready,
add,
guys?
can somebody add up what we've got that's similar?
We all have legacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do we all have? Nobody has Polly's push, huh? Golly, it was a ton of work. I like that story.
General news. It's one day.
I think the legacy one was pretty awesome for the first one.
I do too. I like it better than Game, but I've seen Game a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, the game was a lot of work, so that's why I put it second. And it was a lot of work, and it gave me a feel like they really dug in.
It's definitely in.
Yeah, and then Brad's rink was awesome. I wanted to score it higher, but I felt the other two had more work in them, for
Right.
in-depth types. But and then
Right.
biblical was awesome. So that I had that as honorable mention.
Yeah, I really liked biblical. I think Brad's really piqued my desire to see timely stuff based on the current issues. And I think that's probably one of the most non-controversial human political stories, the way it was put together, regardless of what your political views are, to see people embracing what their belief was and kind of understand how it could be perceived in a way other than hateful, I thought made it a really good story. I really liked that story. I thought it was shot well. They had the street. There was a lot of great compression shots in it. I really liked that story and a lot as far as, longer format and for this category. I thought it was great.
Yep. I liked it too. Do you feel that it eclipsed Brad's rink?
For this category, I did. I like Brad's rink, and I like knowing the father and seeing the family and seeing the whole situation. But to me, that was kind of a one-night shoot. And I think for this category that's supposed to be feature hard, that's something that took a little bit more time mic quality.
It does seem like a one-night shoot, but I really think it was more than a day for sure. To gather all those people in the evening and stuff, I think it was a multiple day shoot for sure. But I mean, I see where you're coming from with that, because the other one, you had a psychologist, you know, there was a lot more digging for and scratching for the story. So, and it was really a cool, comprehensive look at what people
It just
think,
seems like
kind of how they get to that spot, you know?
every political story is people screaming at each other. And this one
Mhm.
was giving a different voice an opportunity to present their perspective in a calm, emotional way. I thought the graphics were good. I thought the facts were good. I don't know. I really liked it.
What do you think, Adrian?
On which one?
Biblical.
Oh, I didn't have it.
I didn't have it down. I thought it was a good piece. I like I like the Great Galveston Freeze. I like Long Live His Legacy. I had that as first.
Yeah, I think we're there with that.
So I had Long Live His Legacy, the Great Galveston Freeze, the game, and They Broke Ground.
Oh, biblical? No, I didn't like it.
I just
Why?
It didn't seem in depth to me. It was a march that happened one day, and they interviewed a bunch of people the week before, you know, in prep of that parade or whatever they were doing, the protest. So
Well, then
there were a lot
Polly's
of really
push isn't in depth either.
good
Then
ones for me up there, and a lot. I mean, I have like 8 listed. That wasn't on it, but I didn't feel like that was in depth in the spirit of the.
I will say that if you watch that that story, it was clear they interviewed those experts after the fact. I'm not saying either way.
Or after, right.
Wasn't that
right, because you can see they had their video on the monitor.
Yeah.
Kind of show them what they were seeing.
I'm not trying to throw an opinion either way in here. I'm just wanted to put that out there.
Well, even more to the point then, you know, they shot all this stuff on the weekend, then they went and put a story together on it. It doesn't seem in depth. It just seems like it took a long time to tell the story.
Then Polly's push isn't in depth at all because they just shot with him.
Well, nobody else likes Polly's push. I liked it.
Okay.
How about this? Since we got a number 1, a number 2, what is something that we have all in common that's a number 2? And
Well, what I liked for number 2 was They Broke Ground for us, because I thought that was in depth. It was very smooth. It told a story at a beginning, middle, and end. I just thought it was interesting. I learned something, and I just felt like it really fit the category. So I like.
So three of us have They Broke Ground, and 3 of us have the game.
I like the game too.
4 of us have the game.
Mine don't have to be in this order. I don't think the game is necessarily second. I could go with They Broke Ground second.
Me too.
Okay.
I could go with
I really could.
Yeah.
I have a lot about the game that I don't like. There's a lot about it I don't like, but I know I'm in the minority.
3 of us have the game. They Broke Ground for us a second. So that's number 2. And number 3, what's number 3 that is similar that all of us have that?
The game.
The game. So the number 3 would be the game. And number 4, what would number 4 be? Angle Ice Road. There's 3 of us who liked it. Oh no, but it's.
Well, I have to take my biblical out because it's dead, so I get to put something else in, and it would probably be that Angle Ice Road. I might have to watch Galveston Freeze again. You guys all liked it, and I thought it was choppy. I didn't think there was transitions between one event and the other.
Let me see what I said about it. Because I just went through and picked my 5s, and there was plenty.
I mean, it was really good. So, it didn't seem like in depth. It just seemed like it took a long time to do it. It wasn't like really going deep into the
now
heart.
The power's out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Frozen, now we're back.
But it was still.
It was a solid open, good close, lots of feels, so many locations, beautiful shots.
I love the middle. Right before went out all of those images. I mean,
yeah, that was beautiful.
We can do that instead of Brad's Rink if you guys think that there was. I just think that there's also a beautiful weaving of the story in Brad's Rink, And there was
Well,
two in Galveston Freeze, but
I think the thing about Brad's Rink that resonates with me is that we got to know a main character who was dead.
Yeah.
We felt so much for someone and were introduced to someone in a way that can only be done with quality storytelling. And that's
Yeah.
the thing about Brad's Rink that really resonated with me, is that,
Yeah.
you know, I have so
But
much compassion for the man who passed away, because I feel
Yeah,
like
we
I know so much
connected.
about him. Right.
Honestly, it felt like he was alive before he died in that story. So, I
Right.
mean, that's hard to do. I mean, it's hard to do with somebody who's already gone. So, I'll put Great Galveston Freeze as number 4 too, because I mean, I liked it too. So, we can edge out Brad's. We can edge out whatchamacallit.
We're putting in the Rink story and taking out Galveston Freeze.
I would rather have the
Not
Rink
me.
than Galveston Freeze, personally.
Oh,
what?
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Hang on. What now? Where is the group going? Who's turning the corner here?
We're going to a bar, Brad.
Turn around every now
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified.
We're doing Legacy first. Boy, we're getting there. We're doing They Broke Ground second.
Okay, I don't know about we're doing that. Hang on a second.
Well, this is where we're at. The group is at. At this point, the suggestion is Legacy first, They Broke Ground second, The Game third, and maybe The Rink is an honorable mention.
Okay, I never heard us talking about Legacy. I really liked it.
Yeah, you guys all agreed on Legacy being number 1.
Right, so we didn't really talk about it.
So I'm just going with what's similar with all of us. I think that's what matters. Like, what did we all agree on was good, and then we can choose what's the best of what we agree on. You know,
Is there a reason that the game shouldn't be first? Because it's very in depth. It's 3 months of shooting. It's following a drug addict. It's, I like the Legacy. It was on the top of my list until we started seeing some more. I like the rapper, the combo of the bites and the rap, the writing and the rap, the slider, the good light, good intro, drew me in. It's a national story, good smooth storytelling.
Beautiful.
So
I don't like the game as much. We talked about this yesterday, and I know we're very different on this, but the stylizing of the different looks with the different cameras to me is very jarring. And it doesn't really have a good open and a close. It kind of starts in the sun and ends with the lady walking down the street. I didn't think that part was strong. I thought it had great information and great compassion, but I was more moved by the Legacy.
So there's a continuous strum of your emotions on the Legacy. Like it's like somebody's drumming a bass line and you feel it resonating through your body. The game it's mentally and you connected with these people, but it wasn't as physical of a feeling, I think, as the other one. The other one, their shots and the way they incorporated everything and wove it together really kept my emotions in tune with the story. And whereas the other one was awesome. I love those homeless stories too. Like, it's fascinating to peek in their lives, and it's a lot of work because some of them can be very aggressive, and there's a lot of work to it. Yeah, so I mean, I've stayed overnight in a homeless camp and spent the night with a homeless guy in a shelter, but I think that there was a lot of work to that, and it was awesome. But I think the weave on the story was tighter on the Legacy. That's all.
So in terms of learning something, I guess, Legacy and They Broke Ground for us are the same type of story. I guess I learned more from They Broke Ground from us than I did from the Legacy. Though Legacy was great.
I think Legacy was the strongest thing we had. I just do. Consistently strong. The message was strong all the way through. I was never distracted. I was so absorbed in it. I felt like I learned a lot from it. As a mom, as a white woman, I feel like I learned a ton from that piece. It's probably moved me the most of any piece that we've seen.
it draws parallels of what could have been had people paid attention to Philandro, and if the world had listened to another black man who had been wronged earlier, another black man could have been saved later. So it just shows a cyclical nature of this, how it's never ending, and how there are periods in time when you can stop something, and if you don't catch those moments in the right moment, then tragedy follows. I'm not trying to write the synopsis of this, but
I just think it's the best one we have.
I know we've heard. Yeah, I'm good if that's what you guys want.
Okay, so legacy is first. I'm sorry, Adrian, did you say something?
I was just going to say, not only Philando Castile and George Floyd, but Dante Wright, who was killed right in the middle of the George Floyd trial. And I mean,
Orlando here.
And it just happened here in Minnesota again, Amir Locke. So, I mean,
I just love the open of that, the way, there was a lot of, in the beginning of all this, and I learned so much, but in the beginning of this, when people were fighting over Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter, and at the very open of that piece, and he says both of them and talks about the importance of them, it got me right away. I just think it's a stunning piece.
I think you guys have decided. I'm ready to move on. I want to get done today.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
That's funny. All right, so we've got legacy as number one. What's
All right,
number
Sharon,
two?
though, you can't push me around on the next one now. Come on.
What's number two? The one thing we have all in common. We got to look at the commonalities here, guys. What's common? What's in
because
common?
they broke ground for us. I think we all agreed that we liked that. It was
Perfect.
well shot.
Perfect.
We learned
Which one?
the
They
fires.
broke ground for us.
Okay,
You
I'll
like
work with
that?
it.
You like that too?
I do like
Brad,
that
from
too,
what
but
I
Yeah, that was my number one.
Okay, perfect. We'll make that number two.
Then I had the game as number three.
I'm good with that.
All right.
I had Polly's Push number four, but everybody else hated it.
I didn't hate Polly.
I didn't hate it at all.
I'm just kidding you.
Just
And I
like-
did like Long Live Legacy.
It's just a diamond with an inclusion in it. We're looking for the clear diamond. That's all.
Diamond with an inclusion. Who am I?
Honorable mention.
Like that.
Let me look. You guys all like the Great Galveston Freeze, and I didn't connect the dots in that one. And I think you said something about it just kind of being a chronology without any depth.
I liked Dangle Rice Road, but it wasn't a hard feature, right?
It wasn't either.
It's a soft.
We can all agree on one thing, right? We can all agree that the Enchanted Forest doesn't have to be in it, right? Just kidding. I want to make sure we're all laughing and in agreement. What about the road home? The two guys with the guy who got arrested, and then it turns out the guy who arrested him was his best friend who'd become a policeman. Does that
was anything? Good.
As far as honorable mention, because I agree that the
which one?
That was beautifully shot. Like, it was perfect shots. They were like perfectly lit, perfectly structured shooting on that. Great graphics where they met in the middle like that. I mean, they were walking towards each other, and then they had. I mean, these are classic effects, like the split wipe. You know.
Which one are we talking about?
We're talking about the what's it called?
Go ahead,
the
play
road
it.
home.
You'll be able to recognize it.
The road home, about the guy who had been arrested, and his friend turned out to be the policeman who arrested him, and he's trying to get all his names on the petitions to be pardoned, and then he's in the cemetery.
I have others that would be honorable.
Okay. Okay. Which
I
one?
like Polly's Push. I like Polly's Push because that was, good open shots. It was super tightly edited, sequence right off the top, good lighting on the interview. It had consistent editing sequences throughout, good use of nats, good editing. It's a 911 story. It's good NPPA style piece. I like the use of the victim's pictures. It was creative and it worked. It didn't interrupt. Good use of natural music. This piece was a lot of work. It was good editing. It was good editing to the axis, where it was traveling from left to right. It wasn't going all over the place. It was good editing there. Photog had to stay way ahead of the game on that, whether it was 1 day or 30 days. And of course, the closing shots are real strong. So it started out strong, it ended strong. You know, it was a solid piece. I thought it fit the category perfectly, and I think it's worth a mention.
Is that the one with the C-47s and the pictures and stuff?
Yeah, I
The
think. I can't remember
line?
yet. He had pictures like on poles and stuff like that. It just seemed to fit the mood.
I so thought he
Yeah, I
missed
love-
the shot. I so thought that somewhere he needed to put his camera on that cart. Somewhere he needed some POV, some more. I mean, you keep saying NPPA style, and yeah, very old school foundation. NPPA
Well, I guess I'm
style.
old.
We've come so far.
There's nobody
from
like
that.
my style back then either.
That we've come so far from that traditional. I mean, that piece is good. It's an advanced workshop exercise. Good. I mean, I get everything.
The middle.
You got to step
Yeah,
out
the
of
middle-
that mold to be better here.
The
What's
middle
that? What do I have
part
to
is
do?
where I lost me.
What do I have to do? Hang on a second.
I just think the mold, the NPPA mold has changed so much.
Well, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. It just seemed
All of
like
those are the foundation of
category.
it, but I think then you've got to go beyond that. Think out of the box.
Who, me? You want me to think out of the box, Sharon Levy? You trying to
That
school me?
photographer, put his camera
Come on, man. Let's hang on a second.
Oh,
Give me some POV
I called
shots. Put
foul
your
here.
camera backwards. Let me see
the
the guy.
mentee has
Brad's
eclipsed the
fighting for
mentor.
old
I mean,
NPPA style. Wow, that's a headline.
You're the one who says take the camera off the tripod, and
Yeah.
that thing was so rigid.
You know what? You and I will disagree on this piece. I want to hear from
I
somebody
agree.
else, and then you guys knock it out.
All right, I think
Always
the
push
intro
'cause
and
it was just a creative way to tell a 911 story. All of us who shoot still were telling 911 stories
thought we
that
were
day, and that guy kicked everybody or lady kicked everybody's butt. I thought it was really good, creative way to tell a story. Found a good character, beginning, middle, end. I'm making my case for it. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm making my case for that one. I'm putting my flag down on Paulie's push.
I think it stalled in the middle. So let's just look at numbers of how many people want Paulie's push, and then we can move on or keep it. What do you think? How many people want Paulie's push?
All
And
right,
this
it's
is for
out.
honorable mention.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just for
Just
honorable
a
mention. So, what can we agree on? Let's look at what we can agree on.
I liked Eagle Ice Road. It just seems sort of like a feature, not in depth. The Great Galveston Freeze. Now, wait a minute. That was like the best shot piece in this entire category, I thought, actually. The photography.
Okay. Well, three of us believe in the Galveston Freeze. At least three of us believe in it. So sounds like an honorable mention to me.
Yeah, that was he had the best
for
sunset
it.
shots, use of his camera or her camera. Very
And I
good.
may have zoned out during that one, so I'm good with it.
All right. That's the fourth one then.